to Coach Caroline's channel. I am thrilled to have Dr. Fred in the house with us today. Thank you, Dr. Fred, for being with us. You've inspired so many people over the years in your illustrious career. I cannot wait for you all to meet him and hear the powerful insights and stories that he has to share. But first, I'm going to introduce him to you by reading out his bio. All right. Dr. Fred has been immersed in intellectual property since 1991. As an AI and IP attorney and former business law and ethics professor, he now dedicates his expertise to empowering authors as a book coach. Through his bestseller newsletter and his email list, Dr. Fred helps aspiring authors achieve bestseller status, even before their manuscripts are complete. He successfully transformed a humble 99-cent ebook into $1 million enterprise, and he is passionate about showing others how to replicate his success. Ready to turn your writing passion into a thriving business? Dr. Fred is here to make that happen. And I can add to that, he is also my business coach, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you to him today. Dr. Fred, thank you for being here.
Coach Caroline, thank you for the invitation. And I'm just glad to be here, to be a part of your team and to be a part of what you're doing.
Awesome. So let's just dive right in, Dr. Fred. Let's just dive right in here. How did your journey into being a lawyer, an attorney, a book coach, an author, how did this all start?
Oh, wow. It started in the country. I grew up in a rural town called Fort Necessity. Fort Necessity. I was born needy. Necessity. Fort Necessity. That's the name of the place. And I was born in a little town, and we were sharecroppers. We lived in the country, and my mom and dad worked hard. And I saw my mom and dad get taken advantage of by a lawyer. And they hired a lawyer for my brother, but they had to raise the money, 50 cents, $1. They had to just scrap up the money to give to this lawyer. And so they finally got the money together to give to the lawyer, gave it to him down in New Orleans, Louisiana, and the lawyer did nothing. That hurt me. The lawyer just took their money, he did nothing. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I said, you know what? That's not right. I'll go to law school and I'll become a lawyer so that I can truly help people. Right. That's how I got started as a lawyer. So as I moved forward, my dad and mom, my dad has an 8th grade education. Mom has a 4th grade education. There was 14 of us, 9 girls, 5 boys. All of us got high school education. All of us graduated from high school. 11 of us went on to college. Well, I thought dad and mom had done something very phenomenal. And by the way, all of us today are entrepreneurs. All of us are entrepreneurs. And so all of us. And so I said, I want to tell dad's story. So I sat down one day and I said, Dad, how did you do this? How did you do that? I had a little tape recorder and I would sit down and record his story and he would tell it to me. I put it together one day and I got it put together. And the name of my company was Father's Voice Publishing. That was the first name of my company, Father's Voice Publishing. So I published dad's book. He looked at that book one day, Coach Caroline, and he was so proud. I took a picture of it and I saw him with his overalls on. He's looking at that book and it was like, oh my God, I've never seen such pride from my dad to see his name on a book and his picture. That started my publishing career. That's how I got started.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Wow, I have not heard that story before. What an incredible story. Wow, I understand. Yeah. To be able to help your parents like that, and to be able to influence like that, that's an incredible feeling. Yeah.
I published my dad's book. Then I published a book on my high school teacher. Then I published a book on my uncle. I was just publishing books playing around. Then I published my mom's book. And then I published a book honoring a judge in Atlanta. And all of a sudden people started saying, you've got 5 books? I'm like, yeah. They were like, wow. And I said, okay, this thing is about to be turned into a business. And then I started doing it as a business from then on.
Right. And did you use self-publishing or traditional publishing to do that back then?
Oh, yeah. I was a professor at the college, right? And at these colleges, they say publish or perish. Publish or perish. That's the mantra at the college to force everybody to publish. But they want you to publish traditionally. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to publish these books like y'all do it. I'm going to self-publish. And so I self-published as an academic. I was in college as a professor. I self-published. I kind of broke the rules. I've always been a rebel. And so I self-published. It wasn't popular. And then all of a sudden, I learned how to publish, and I never looked back. And now self-publishing is becoming more and more popular, more and more accepted. I did it when it wasn't acceptable.
Right. So my next question for you is, how do you help your clients merge their personal stories with their professional expertise to build a brand?
Wow, I love your questions. So how do you take your personal story, your expertise, merge it into a brand so that they can build a business with it?
That's correct.
One little simple thought. Your deepest pain point is your highest paying point. So when you share your pain, you make your pain pay you back.
Yes.
So brand is who you are at your core. Your brand is your identity statement. Your brand is how people see you when you are not around. Your brand is your identity. Well, that comes from your pain. That comes from your shame. Because your deepest pain point is your highest paying point. What you've been through, you can help somebody else come through.
Right.
That makes for your brand. Now, once you got your brand, now let's tell that in a story form. Then you begin to walk through the person's story. And from their story, there's generally going to be one word that's going to stand out.
Right.
One word. Take that word and make it their system.
Right.
Now you have just taken someone's story, grabbed their brand, and you've turned it into a system.
Right. Yeah.
For example, if someone were to say, I went through my life feeling hopeless. My mom died, my dad died, I lost my cat, I lost my dog, I got sick, I felt hopeless. The whole time I lived my life, I felt hopeless. Nothing ever seemed to work out for me. I was hopeless. So when I'm interviewing somebody on a next level coaching call, the first thing I want to listen to and hear is what are they saying repeatedly about themselves.
Yeah.
And then I take that word and flip it.
Yeah.
So that person right there, the title of their book would be Hope.
Right.
A guide to overcome disaster, hopeless. You wouldn't use the same word. A guide to overcome tragedy, calamity, and everything, to tell your story, discover your purpose, and create a life and business of your dreams.
Wow.
That's how I do that.
Yeah. So their professional expertise is their story, is the challenges and the experiences that they've been through.
Most adults press into becoming or running away from whatever it was that they didn't want.
That's true.
I'm a worthologist.
Right.
Why am I a worthologist? Where did that word come from?
Right.
My pain.
Yeah.
most of my life, my young adult life, I felt worthless because of all the things that happened while I was growing up.
Right.
In the country, sharecropping. It wasn't fair. America, racism, sexism, all the isms. It's not nice. You still deal with stupidity-ism, okay? All those things.
Yeah.
So my answer to all that crap, if I may, worthology.
Yeah.
Your value is unlimited. Your worth is without measure, but your price is what you're willing to accept.
Yeah, you've taught so many people and inspired so many people from your own story. Yeah.
That's the way I show you how to take your story, turn it into a brand, and build a business.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Now, I have a burning question for you. A burning question.
It wouldn't be you if you didn't have a question.
Okay. This one is referring your expertise on intellectual property, on AI. Okay. How do you see AI impacting the future of content creation and intellectual property for authors and coaches? And what steps can we take to protect our work?
Oh, your audience. Let me just talk to your audience for a while. Hey guys, this lady is just brilliant. Now, you can say what you want to say, but Coach Caroline, she is the real deal. The quality, and I'm talking to your audience now. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to your audience. I'm talking to the people that follow you. The quality of a leader is you can always tell by the questions they ask. And the questions that you're asking me are questions that's going to serve and support your audience in a big way. And I'm going to give you some real fresh answers because I'm getting ready. Now, back to your question. I am the keynote speaker at my law center in a few weeks. I'm the keynote speaker on AI, intellectual property, pitfalls of AI, and advantages to be gained from AI. And so I got this long presentation, but it's going to be really dope. It's going to be really good. Okay, but I'm going to give your audience the short version. Okay, yeah. Your question is, how do I see AI impacting the future of content creators, writers, and authors going forward? And what should we be doing to protect our intellectual property?
Yes.
Very good questions. Very good question. AI has put our careers on steroids.
Right.
It has expedited everything. Okay. Ooh. Watch this. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write. The illiterate of the 21st century will be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Right.
Alvin Toffler. Writers must immediately unlearn what writing used to be because writing is different.
Right.
AI is a machine. It generates machine-generated content. As of this interview, that content cannot be copyrighted because it's machine-generated. That's the law in the USA, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. In other parts of the world, probably, but I can't speak to that. I'm just going to speak for USA right now. However, I think it's all over. But AI is machine-generated content. Authors, content creators create the prompts, create the original thoughts, create the vision and the inquiries of what we can draw out of AI. So if we're putting in good content, that's our original thoughts, what AI is going to bring us back is an enhanced and or improved version. Let me just say enhanced or expanded version of what we put in.
Right.
That content that you get out of it is still yours.
Right.
That's your original work.
Yeah.
Because the machine would not have been able to do that if you had not asked it to do that. So the
Right.
origin of the thought belongs to you, the author, the creator. So where do I
Right.
see us in the future? Content creators, I see the playing field being leveled. I see everything speeding up. And
Right.
those of us, those who are smart and ready to take advantage of this opportunity, will be far out front of everybody else in the game.
Right.
Did I answer your question? I know I hadn't answered the second part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
good? Was that helpful?
Very good. Very helpful. Thank you. I think people
Are you
really
ready for me to tell you what?
need to hear this stuff. People really need to hear this stuff.
Don't be afraid of AI, number one. Stay
Yeah.
connected with coaches like Coach Caroline, who's on the cutting edge and on the front end of this stuff. You want to stay connected with people who are connected with people who are connected. You follow me? And so stay connected with her because this lady right here, we met in Clubhouse and she had an agent to research me for months. She had an agent. She knows I'm telling the truth. This is the truth. She had an agent researching me in Clubhouse, and before we ever started working together, the lady is phenomenal. Okay, let me keep going. I want to answer your second question.
Yeah.
So this makes for a nice cut in the video. See, I'm all kind of ways doing your video. What should writers do to protect their intellectual property?
Yeah. Please.
I did it today. Whatever the copywriting agency of your country is, you want to go to that site and register your copyright. Okay, now I know people say, well, what is copyright? I'm going to back up. Copyright is a noun, but it is a plurality of rights. Copyright is a noun, but it's a plurality of rights. What I mean by that is, what in America, what authors have is exclusive ownership of their copyright. And copyright is our ideas, it's our thoughts, it's our words that we put in a print or fixed form. And when we put print or fixed form to our content, then the law will give us exclusive ownership of that content. That ownership is for the life of the author plus 70 years in the US. Okay. Now, what's so powerful about that is all we do here is go to copyright.gov. Okay. Copyright.gov and register your copyright, your book, your writings, whatever it is that you want to, that's literary works, you can copyright it at copyright.gov. And I would encourage authors to register their copyright, become religious about registering your copyright.
Right. That was my next question, was how often do you copyright stuff? Are you copywriting your stuff like all the time?
I have embraced that habit.
Right.
Answer, yes. I am copywriting more and more because more content is being made more common. More content is being made more common. And so in order for you to keep the exclusive edge, you're going to need to copyright it and register it. Don't just write it out and put on there copyright, all rights reserved 2024. That's a good first step. That's a great first step. When you write something, put copyright, all rights reserved, Coach Caroline, 2024. Always do that. But then when you are sending out your material to other people, copyright, all rights reserved.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's something else that I do sometime. I want to encourage your audience to do the same thing. Now, listen, don't tell anybody I told y'all this. So just don't tell anybody. When I write a prompt, and I put that prompt into ChatGPT or whatever platform I put it in, and if it's my original work, I say, this is the original work of Coach Caroline. All rights, copyright, all rights reserved, 2024. And then I go on and write the prompt and say, now, help me make this better.
Yeah. Wow.
Expand on this idea.
Yeah.
But you've already told it, this is your copyright and it's your original work.
Right.
So whatever it expands, it's expanding on your copyright. Always do that. And then when you get your finished work, when you get it to where you want it, let's just say it's an essay, let's say it's whatever it is. Let's say if it's a program, it's a class. Once you get it all laid out in ChatGPT, from the moment you start putting your stuff in there, you said copyright, all rights reserved, all rights reserved. Now help me expand this. And now that you got it expanded, then tell it again. Remember, this is copyright by Coach Caroline, all rights reserved.
Wow, I think you just blew my mind. That's amazing. That's an amazing tip, advice. It just, wow, that's cutting edge. Thank you for sharing.
That's what you should do. Because the machines are doing what? The machine is doing what? Memorizing your work. Remember, they are learning modules. They are language learning machines. Yeah. And they are updating their memory every time you put something in it. So if you're going to tell it to remember something, remember that I was the first person to say that. Remember that as my original material.
Right.
And then put that material in there.
Yeah.
And then continuously tell it, this is my original work. This is my original work.
Yeah.
Now, that's how you protect your work. Okay, now, let me give you one more.
Yeah, please,
well,
please.
I should probably pause and answer your question.
No, we're all ears.
All right, okay. I'll give you another strategy that's very important, man. You gotta have a great, for authors, if you're gonna write a book and you're gonna publish a book, and if any a portion of your book is gonna touch AI, then you need a copyright disclaimer on your copyright page.
A copyright disclaimer on the copyright page.
Yes. Copyright, all rights reserved, 2024, Coach Caroline.
Yeah.
All parts of this book is the original content of Coach Caroline. Coach Caroline owns the copyright exclusively. Disclaimer. AI was used to edit, expand, and to, give me another E word, edit, expand, or to express my thoughts more clearly.
Whoa.
Okay?
Yeah.
AI was used to edit, expand, and to express my thoughts more clearly.
Yeah.
If any portion of the material that's in this book happens to be copyrighted material of anybody else's in the world, I disclaim any ownership of that content.
Wow.
Otherwise, everything in this book is my own stuff. That's a disclaimer and an indemnity clause that you want to place on your copyright page whenever using AI. You're saying basically to the world, it's my stuff. I used AI. It's always good to tell people you did, because that puts out integrity and people feel that you're being honest. Okay. Yeah. And then say, I use it to expand, to edit, and or to express my thoughts more clearly. I like that, those 3 E's right there. And then you say, all of the work in the book is my original material. If by chance any portion of it was someone else's copyright, I disclaim any interest or ownership to that. And and otherwise, all this is my original work.
Wow, that's so powerful. That's incredible. You heard it, folks, straight from a lawyer. Wow. Wow.
Now, of course, none of this is legal advice. This is all educational coaching experience. But
Yeah.
ever since 1991, when I heard the word intellectual property, I've been immersed in. I love it. I mean, I'm loving all this talk about copyright.
Yeah.
Copyright has now become the hot thing, right? All
Yeah.
copyright is the interest you owns in the words you write.
Amazing.
Copyright is the legal interest you own
Yeah.
in the words you write, in your thoughts on paper. Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So moving on, something that I've seen in some forums that I've been a part of is authors and content creators are very scared of losing their authentic voice when they use AI. So how can aspiring authors and entrepreneurs leverage AI tools without losing their unique voice and their creative touch, as it were?
Fear is false evidence appearing real, right? That's all
Right.
it is. False evidence appearing real. Face everything and rise, right?
Right.
I'm gonna just cut the crap. Cut it. Stop talking crazy. You're not gonna lose your voice. You're not gonna lose your authenticity. You're not gonna lose your identity when you do one thing. Tell your story.
Right.
Tell your story to AI. Tell your story and train AI.
Yeah.
And whatever it puts out is going to be your voice on steroids. All you have to do is tell your story. One of the unique things that I do when I do AI, I always insert story.
Right.
It's been my story. And story can be one sentence long. Story can be a paragraph. If writers will just be authentic to tell their story, put characters in the story, lean into AI, you're going to be as original can be.
Yeah.
There's no fear. Some of it is hype. It's over. It's hype and it's fear and it's overplayed. You train AI and you use it enough, your voice is going to be enhanced.
Yeah. And I find people are so fearful of it that they will, vilify it and kind of want to stick with the tradition, the traditional way is best, the traditional way, pen, paper, typewriter, this is best, and there's definitely a divide.
They're going to be left behind. They're going to be left behind.
Right.
Money is attracted to speed.
Yeah.
And those who are out front lead.
Right.
That's all. I mean, if they choose to do it the old way, you could walk to the grocery store, or you could get in a car and ride, right?
Right. That's a good metaphor.
You could walk across to another state, walk all the way to California, right? Or you can get in an airplane and go to California.
Yeah.
It's the same old arguments.
Got it. Thank you. So, what's one powerful piece of advice that you can give to your clients to help them unleash their potential and scale their businesses?
Know how to value your time. Because if you don't have the proper value on your time, then everything you do around you is not going to be valued. You won't know how to teach your family how to value your time. You won't teach your clients how to value your time. People won't know how to value you, value your time.
Yeah.
That's why you have those intake forms. And before people get on the call with you, they see that you value your time. I don't know, it's probably $1,500 or $2,000 or $3,000 an hour. I'm not sure what your value is, but right now, but that's why you got the value on those intake calls. So if someone gets on a call with you, or when someone gets on an interview with you, they realize that this wasn't just a 30-minute or an hour interview. This was a $5,000 or $10,000 experience.
Right.
And when you can train your audience to see that, you won't have a problem scaling, because you won't be out here looking for people to like you or people to say good things to you. You're just going to be looking for those people who know how to respect you at the level of your value.
Right. Yeah.
And all you need is 3 or 4 like that, and you'll be scaling real quick.
Yeah. That's the positioning that you're talking about, right?
Powerful. That you got to position. 24/7, always be positioning.
Yeah.
ABP, always be positioning.
Thank you so much. So we're coming to the last question in this interview. Okay. All right. My last question is, with your unique background, your skills in law, in coaching, in ministry, what do you believe is the most important skill for authors and entrepreneurs to cultivate in today's rapidly changing world?
I'm going to ditto Warren Buffett. Communication. Most people don't know how to talk, but they want to sell. Most people don't know how to speak copy, but they want to run a business. A lot of people want to, I see it in Clubhouse, I see it in our mastermind meetings. People will come and they'll just start talking. You tell them to fill in the blank, they give you a whole paragraph. You know, you say take a minute, and 30 minutes later they still talking.
Right.
The number one skill is how to communicate effectively.
Right.
More important than selling. Selling and communication is right there. You got to know how to sell. You got to know how to close. But that's all taken care of in communication. If you communicate properly to someone else, you don't have to close them. They will close themselves. They will say, how can I work with you?
Right.
And all money is showing somebody else that what you have to offer is more valuable than their money.
Right.
When you can position yourself like that and have the confidence to sit there and talk to them like that, and they say, I know I got to work with you. I want to be a part of whatever you're doing.
Right.
You have communicated your value in a way that has made you now irresistible. So the number one skill that someone should have to scale a business is the skill of communication, such that you can communicate with such effectiveness that it makes you irresistible.
Wow. Where did you learn how to do it?
Where?
Yeah, how? Where did you learn your communication skills?
When I was in 10th grade, I got a little book called The Spice of Life. And in The Spice of Life, it had a poem. Ernest Baccarini gave me that book. He was a guy in our community, and he saw me and he took a belief in me, and he just kind of mentored me. And in The Spice of Life, it says, if you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it's almost certain that you won't. If you think you lose, you lost. For out of the world we find. Success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in your state of mind. And that little poem I learned from high school taught me how to believe bigger, how to believe better. Okay? That poem has anchored me all of my life.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you who moved the needle for me, and I don't mind saying it, and I talk about it all the time. It's a gentleman by the name of Ray Edwards.
Yeah.
I didn't know the difference between copy, R-I-G-H-T, and copy, W-R-I-T-E.
Right.
I did not know the difference between copyright and copywriter
Right.
until I met this guy.
Mm.
And that's when I learned that it's all about the words.
Yeah.
But of course, law school didn't hurt. Being a business coach and a college professor, I taught business law and ethics. That didn't hurt. But this right here, this guy, copywriting, and then go back to Ernest Baccarini. And my mom and dad, my dad was a great leader. My dad taught me how to lead. My mom taught me how to love. So with love and leadership, I found my way. And I'm the 12th child. So my mom and dad, and just I've always been inquisitive. I've always been very inquisitive. I wanted to know. I just like asking questions and wanting to learn. And that has helped me by listening to people. Has helped me be a more effective communicator. So this guy right here, Ernest Baccarini, and some kind of way, maybe it's a gift, but God has allowed me to polish it.
Yeah. Incredible. Thank you so much. You've shared so many incredible insights with us today, Dr. Fred. Where can we find you? Like if somebody is watching this interview and they want to know more about you, where can they find you?
drfredjones.com. drfredjones.com. And if they want to talk to me, they can go to drfredjones.com/strategy. Strategy.
Awesome. Yes. And I know that you're on YouTube. I know that you're on Facebook. Yeah, I know that you're there as well. And I'll put the links to where you are onto this video, onto the captions of this video and this interview. So thank you so much, Dr. Fred. It's been a pleasure having you here. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and for your clients. And I'm sure that anybody listening to this interview is now feeling inspired and ready to take action.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach Caroline. Thank you for having me, and to your audience and those your subscribers on your YouTube channel. I mean, as I've said it before, you're one of the best, and I just want to encourage you to keep going. You're doing a phenomenal work.
Thank you.